Jai Gurudev Brahmaraji, will you be able to start or should I?
Yeah, Jai Gurudev Rinal. Yeah, I will start. Om Brahmanandam Paramasukhadam Kevalam Jnanamurtim Dvandvatitam Gagana Sadrisham Tattvamasyadilaksham Ekam Nityam Vimalamachalam Sarvadhi Sakshi Bhutam Bhavatitam Trigunarahitam Sadgurum Tam Namami Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavat Padam Shankaram Lokashankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayana Sutra Bhashya Kritau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punaha Sadashiva Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam Vande Guru Paramparam Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Saha Viryankaravavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai Om Shanti 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 Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Chaiva Tato Jayamudirayet. Jai Gurudev. Okay. You want to start reading, Brina?
Okay.
Let me just mute others so that there is no disturbance, and then you can start. Yeah, you can start. Rinal, we can't hear you. You have to unmute yourself.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought I have unmuted myself.
No. It start from the beginning, yeah.
Yeah. The meaning of Om. All the chapters in Gita end with the above words, the only variation being the title of the chapter. In the expression Om Tat Sat, Om is the name of Brahman, a phonetic name for the Lord. Apart from this, linguistically, that is grammatically, this term has a meaning too. It means that which protects everyone, that which sustains everything. Avati Rakshati iti Om. Phonetically, A is first and the basic sound that you make when you open your mouth. Thus, A is the first letter of the Sanskrit alphabet. Also, when you close your mouth and make a sound, what comes out is the sound M, M, N, and in between there is rounding of sound U, A plus U, O is O. U, A plus U becomes O, which along with M is Om. All forms, all objects have names, and all names are words. Words, even the longest ones like supercalifragilisticexpialidocious, are nothing but sounds. These sounds all come between A, that comes when you open your mouth and makes a sound, and the sound M, that comes with the mouth closed. You cannot make any further sounds after this letter M. Thus, these are the two sounds within which all the sounds are produced. Given that the Lord is the Lord of everything, this name should be Om. His name should be Om. And to account for the everything, the U is inserted in between. Sorry, I'll read it again. Given that the word, sorry, what is that? Given that the Lord is the Lord of everything, his name should be Om. And to account for the everything, the U is inserted in between. In this way, Om becomes the name of Bhagavan, the Lord. Also, each of these three letters has been loaded by the Shastra to stand for the whole. This practice is called Aropa in Sanskrit. Just as a country's flag represents its constitution, here the A represents the entire gross world. Sthula Prapancha. The U represents the entire subtle world, Sukshma Prapancha, meaning the mind or the inner world. And the M represents unmanifest condition, like in sleep, when everything resolves and on waking again comes out. In this way, Om stands for the entire realm of cause and effect, which is nothing but Brahman. That Brahman, Om, is Tat Sat. Tat, that Lord alone, is Satyam. Sat and everything else is Mithya, depending upon that Tat, the Lord. Therefore, the expression Om Tat Sat is general conclusion. Having said a lot of things, the conclusion is Om Tat Sat, meaning that after all is said and done, Satya alone is. The Bhagavad Gita, which has the status of an Upanishad, contains the subject matter of Brahman. The knowledge of Brahman, Brahma Vidya, is simply you are that, Tattvamasi. The Gita is also Yoga Shastra, dealing with attitudes and values with reference to self-management, self-improvement, maturity, and so on, which is Karma Yoga. Even the rules of Sannyasa come under Yoga Shastra since they are not Jnana. The nature of the dialogue between the Lord Krishna and Arjuna. This Yoga Shastra and Brahma Vidya form the dialogue that took place between Sri Krishna and Arjuna. Sri Krishna Arjuna Samvada, the dialogue that imparts knowledge. The word Vada means a discussion. A dialogue that imparts knowledge is different from a dialogue between equals, where there is no imparting of knowledge involved, only exploring of knowledge. There are also two types of dismissing dialogues, wherein the other person is declared to be in the wrong. One type is dialogue of fanatics, Jalpa, and the other is Vitanda, the dialogue of the intolerant, where one person cannot stand another person saying something and getting away with it. The discussion between Lord Krishna and Arjuna was neither a Jalpa nor a Vitanda, nor was it a discussion in order to discover something. It was a dialogue that imparts knowledge wherein one participant knew and the other wanted to know. Therefore, it was Guru Shishya Samvada, a dialogue between a teacher and student. This particular meaning is denoted by the prefix Sam added to Vada. Some added to Vada. This chapter under study is entitled Karma because it deals with the subject matter Brahman in terms of karma. Therefore, it is said Karma Yoga Nama Tritiyo Dhyaya. As we have seen before, the word yoga used in each of the titles of the 18 chapters of Gita means subject matter. Thus, the third chapter entitled Karma in the Bhagavad Gita, whose status is that of Upanishad, which contains the knowledge of Brahman and Yoga Shastra in the form of Samvada, a dialogue that imparts knowledge between Lord Krishna and Arjuna is concluded. Do you want to discuss on this or what do we do next?
Yeah, I think we can summarize this. And then today we thought we'll go with Parsiji's notes on prana.
Yeah.
So it is very nice to understand the, although we know Om as we've been taught, knowing the deeper meaning of Om makes it even more um, meaningful and more invaluable when you chant Om. It is, can you just go up on from the beginning? It is that which sustains, that which avati rakshati iti Om, that which protects everyone and that which sustains everything. Avati rakshati iti Om. And then A and are the beginning and the end of the alphabet, and U is in the middle. Therefore, it encompasses the whole of creation, and everything is sustained, is contained in these three in Om. And according to, I think, Maharshi Patanjali, Om represents the divine. Om represents God. So all of this makes it very meaningful. And then Om Tat Sat. Yeah, I would, maybe anyone else can also share.
I could feel that you is YOU also. That can be interpreted like, between A and U, you are in between.
Right. Because Om is such a powerful chant. It is said, it is actually used as one of the chants to, is one of the upayas given if you are stuck with some obstacle. There are 9 obstacles according to the Patanjali Yoga Sutra. Vyadi, Sthana, Alasya, Virati, Alabdha Bhumikatva, all of those 9 obstacles. So the one way of getting out of them, one of the upayas is to chant Om. So Om has such a beautiful significance. And Om Tat Sat, Tat is that Lord alone. Sat is Satyam. That is the only Sat, that's the only truth. So this Om Tat Sat actually signifies Advaita there. Everything else is Mithya. Everything else is just an illusion. It is different when we chant, just chant it. It is different when we chant it with the understanding of the meaning. It's very elevating. And Bhagavad Gita, it is Brahma Vidya. It is not just, it's not only Brahma Vidya, it's also Yoga Shastra. Right. And it is a Samvada, not a Vivada or a Jalpa or. Right. Yeah. Do you have this the notes from Percy ji?
Yes, I do. I just opened the PDF.
Yeah.
I can share that. But would anybody else able
Yeah, I
to
know.
read
If
this?
anyone else wants to add on to this, please, before we
Bra-
move on to that.
Brahmaraji, I have sent you yesterday by mail.
Oh,
Uh,
did you?
yeah, and this was a newer version with all the exercises also pushed in.
Ah, right.
One
Right.
of my volunteers made it for me. So
Okay.
this is a better version and with better font size and all that.
Okay.
Yeah, somebody has improved on the earlier version that I sent you.
Okay. Let me add this.
Yeah.
I'll send this to Rinal. Rinal, I've just emailed this to you. The latest version.
Yeah, I'm checking.
Anyone wants to add on to the Om before Rinal starts sharing screen?
I just share a story on home.
Yeah,
Once,
please go ahead. Yeah.
once I was taking a course, a part one course, basic course, in a Muslim dominated area near JJ Hospital. And it was for Muslims. And when we teach them the pranayam and the bhastrika, and we go to Om and then we explain to them Ahuma and all that, I cut out that explanation of Om completely. And because earlier also there was a lot of, they don't believe in Atma when you do the 7 levels of existence. And there was a journalist also from in their midst. So I told him that when you say Kayamat ke din, रूह सभी रूहों को एक साथ खड़े करेंगे, and then the judgment day, judgment will be passed on the रूह. I said, you call it रूह, we call it Atma. So already some amount of discussion on all this had happened. So when it came to Om, I just did not explain Om. After the pranayam and bhastrika, I immediately said, now we'll chant Om 3 times, and I made them chant Om 3 times without explanation or anything. And they said it. And then it's like they fell into line. Then at that time, we also had that Disha Pranam, bowing down process, where you chant Om and bow down in each direction and express your gratitude to the Sun Lord, the Mother Earth, and all that. And they did it, and all of them were Muslims.
Yeah, and I thank you for sharing this. I remember once Saji Nissan, he was conducting a program, I think, for Christians in a church. And then he also had this little doubt in him. He said he was doing the happiness program and he wanted to avoid the Om, and he actually avoided the Om because he wasn't sure how they'll take it. It was either for Christians or for Muslims, I'm not really sure, but it was one of those. And then that evening, he got a call, or that afternoon, or around the same time, he gets a call from Gurudev saying, um, he asked him, Gurudev asked him, oh, so how does the course going on? So have you taught them Om? So
No,
Gurudev,
Brahmaraji, as I
yeah,
remember, it was at the same moment call came.
moment call came, huh? Yeah, maybe.
That is what.
Maybe.
That is what. I heard that way. He was
So
about to skip it and
we
the call came.
yeah, we should not put our small mind in doing this, you know. And I would like to share here today, although yesterday I told you that I may not attend Gurudev's event yesterday. I could not stop it. Yesterday when I was doing my Kriya after the session was over, after our Manana session was over, it somehow occurred to me, he said, you are not coming to Bangalore this time. I'm coming to Hyderabad. And how can you not come and see me? This was the thought that came. And then I said, come on, I can take due precautions. I'm going to wear 2 masks. So I checked with one of our volunteer teachers who lives in the same locality. I messaged him and I said, how are you going? Is there any, I just want to be, I would also like to come. So we ultimately went, we went in his car along with his family. It was such a beautiful event. Gurudev came at around 7:30, and in his usual grandeur, he was there, and it was like Krishna was there surrounded by so many gopis, gopikas around there on the stage. It was such a beautiful, it was an open air event. It was really wonderful. I'm glad I went. So what I'm saying is we should not put in our small mind when the Guru's grace is there. So with respect to teaching Om, in fact, the whole of the manual, everything, that's what he says, no, walk like a king, serve like a servant. With that faith, just go on. You're carrying such beautiful knowledge. It's the knowledge of the ultimate. It is the highest knowledge beyond which there's no more knowledge. Most other empirical knowledge we learned earlier, the more you learn, the more you would want to learn, and there is always some change in that knowledge. It may not remain the same. Whereas the knowledge of the ultimate, the knowledge of the truth is what is. It is changeless. It does not change with time. So we are carrying that knowledge. So I think we should just go with that faith and confidence that what is mentioned in the manual, you do ditto without putting in our little
small mind. Yeah.
Can someone read this because I have a little bad throat.
No
I may
problem.
not read it.
I go through it.
Yeah, you can
Yeah.
go through it, Persiji. Please go ahead.
Yeah. See, the objective behind making this was that prana was a misunderstood word. I found that in my communication with a lot of teachers and all, it was found to be synonymous with breath. So that is why I went into details into finding and searching and seeing that it is not breath. So the first thing that I wanted to clear was that as teachers, we should understand that it is not breath. Therefore, I went to the root meaning and all that. But it is the life force energy that is there. And this energy is there throughout the universe. And every cell of our body in the microcosm to the macrocosm, everything is filled with this life force energy in different variations. And then we came to the creation of all living beings. And then from this Prashna Upanishad, I saw we have done it even in our Tattva Bodha, that Prajapati is the creator of all living beings. And he created two principles. Can just lift it up a little. The feminine and the masculine principle. And so it was called Riya and Prana in that book. These together, when they are connected, no, you have gone too high. Yeah, this is it. When these two are connected together, they produce various different creatures in many ways. And it is said the sun is the spirit matter, the moon is the energy. Energy plus matter is life force energy. Now, the connection, no, you again slip down. Please take it up.
Do you want to read it from the beginning or we want to start from there?
No, I have already finished that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's take it to prana and atma. Yeah. This is where the all the understanding starts as to how it is the connecting link, the consciousness, the atma, which we call it, how through consciousness it goes into every cell of our body through our chitta. And the whole, how it penetrates the manas, the buddhi. Yet we say that Atma is present everywhere, but it is not there in anything. So how is this possible? So how is this projection of the consciousness that is there in every cell of our body, in our mind, in our intellect, in our memory? So it is said that like children play with a magnet, and on top of the table they have a glass table or something, and they'll put a magnet below and they'll put some iron filings on top, and just like they move the magnet, and the iron filings will be attracted by the magnet and they'll move along with it. So prana is also, through the prana, it is like a magnetic field being created, and it is connected. The consciousness in the atma is connected to every cell in our body through the chitta, through the memory, as it is called. Are we understanding it so far? Say electromagnetic field.
Yes.
Yeah. So that is how the prana is the connecting link. The breath is the vehicle on which the prana moves, the life force energy moves. And this life force energy, how it comes in through our memory and goes into every cell of our body. If you have understood this to this extent, like it is like a magnetic field, how children play with a magnet, that way Atma is connected with the entire Jiva complex, as we call it. Lift it a little higher again. So prana is present, like we said, that prana is in all the five elements. It is made up of all the five elements. Here we are showing first the connection with air and food, and how Chetna and Chitta are combined through breath. And then as far as food is concerned, I given an example of this frozen veggies, which you nowadays get in all the malls and in departmental stores. They have no prana left in them. They are frozen. Here in India, we eat vegetables once they are plucked within 3 days. Otherwise, we literally tend to throw them away because the life force energy within them has gone away. And here I want to explain to you that earlier days in the villages, even the atta, the wheat, गेहूं का आटा, the wheat which is powdered was done in a chakki. What do you call in English? There was a wheel in which you would pound the wheat and make it into a powdered form. And that said that also would have life force energy only for 7 days. So every day it was made fresh and eaten fresh. And that was maybe the secret behind there being so energetic and enthusiastic people in the villages and used to work on their farms in the hot sun, etc. So this prana has got so much of connection with the air we breathe and also the food that we intake. So when we talk about disciplines in sadhana, the air, the breath part of it comes in. Then discipline in food. What I talked yesterday also about Anusasan. See how important it is. And then then I have shown that how prana is made from all the 5 elements, water being one element. Veggies have 72% of water content. And the water content in our body is also around 72%. So see how the macrocosm and the microcosm are connected to each other. Can you roll up a little? Planet Earth has around 72% water. But enough, you've gone too high. Can you roll it down a little? Yeah. So fruits have 90, but roll it down a little. Fruits have 90% water content and it's good for cleaning the body. So when we talked about high prana food, how it heals your body, how you get positive energy from dates, fruits, I had earlier taken it up also. So that fruits contain 90% of water. So physically also when you want to detox your body, when you eat a lot of food, it's said that papaya takes care of all the toxins in our body. So papaya is a very good fruit to detox your body. In season, you should eat papaya. Then it is also said that when hungry, if you do pranayam, so the power of your breath, your dependence on food will go down. So the quantity, it's not just the quality of food, sattvic food, but even the quantity of food that we eat makes a difference to us in getting our prana. And then there is solar energy from the sun. And this is where Surya Yoga come in. There, I think the Western world has done a lot of research now and experiments they've carried out. There are certain rishis who are sitting and taking in only solar energy. They do Surya Yoga and they don't eat anything. And they're very high pranas. This is now proved beyond doubt. So Surya Yoga is one thing, and maybe, I don't know when, but maybe you all can learn it because I know some Surya Yoga exercises and they are very good for the pituitary, the pineal gland and the thyroid gland. And that is said to be, these 3 glands are supposed to be like a battery in a car. Like if they are in working order, your car, no matter how much of petrol you have in it, it will not move if the battery is down. So all the endocrine glands, all the other glands in the body are controlled by these 3 glands. And Surya Yoga is very powerful to control these glands. But whenever I teach it, the promise has to be that you will do it before 9 o'clock in the morning. After that, the rays of the sun are very harsh on you and they may do you damage. So one needs to do it only before 9. The best period is when the Surya rises, the sun rises, 1 hour. That is the peak period of doing Surya Yoga. As soon as the sun rises, within 1 hour if you do it. But up till 9 o'clock, it is okay. So I don't know when, probably there are some exercises, they are very simple to do, sitting down, and they have a wonderful effect. I have even stopped somebody who had been prescribed, his biopsy was done, thyroid is like a butterfly in the throat. It was swollen to such a great extent that, and his father had uh, malignancy, cancer, and he was perturbed that he may also be having it. And his this thing was biopsy was done, and one he was called back later, and I said, you asked the doctor whether you can get 40 days before the operation is performed, and he got it. And he did the Surya Yoga. When he went back to his doctor, forget the biopsy, the doctor said, the gland that was swollen up, the thyroid, had reduced to the size of a small child, and that too within 40 days. And within the 40 days, he had gone to France. He was an executive in Reliance. And he had not even seen the sun. He just took the compass where the sun would be in the east. He faced the east and he did the Surya Yoga. So much of, and he had not done the course. His wife had done the course and she brought. And then, of course, he ended up doing the course with me. Because when this happened,
Wonderful. If you can also teach us, if that is possible, that would be wonderful.
Shall we at some other time after we finish this? Probably it's
Yeah,
time. But only one promise I require, that you will not do it after 9 o'clock.
Fine.
All of you, you learn it, and whenever you pass it on also, vehemently say that it should not be done up. Even if somebody says it's 9:01, please, no, you can't do it. These are certain, all this, even this Panch Pranas and all that, Guruji used to say a long time back in our TRMs, I'm giving you this knowledge, which is very secret knowledge. And then he would talk about which nadi is working, from which side the person is coming, and what question he'll ask you, and whether you should say yes or no. All those, these are hidden secrets which he shared with us. How your answer will be correct, what answer you give, which nadi is working and all that, and which side has he come from. So all these things are there, and one just needs to have faith that this works.
Right.
Then I have gone to the extent of showing as to the difference, how, like we have already covered in this Gita chanting classes we have had and all that. So like the batteries for the prana is the mantra chanting that we do. Not only do the mantras heal, they say that all these rishis who perform this yagyas and homas, they get that kind of life force energy which they then transfer to somebody. When they put their hand on the head of a person and bless him, then that healing happens. And I tell you, I was not even aware of it. There was a part 1 course I was taking somewhere, and in that, one of my volunteers who has now become a teacher, there was some, after that course got over, and before a DSN talk, there was an intro talk. And I invited her to give her experience. And she suddenly started, sometimes, even experience sharing, I think we should talk with our volunteers about as to what they should say. She came out, Arey, this Percy sir, you don't know what powers he has and all that. And she shared that this lady had come who had small tumors, and she was to advise after biopsy to do hysterectomy where the entire uterus is removed. And I said, she had done the part 1 course, so I said, you go and do this DSN course, maybe it will work for you. And she said, no, I have to go for this hysterectomy and all that. So I said, okay, close your eyes. I put my hand on her, and I'm a healer, so I just blessed her, blessing course I had done. So I put my hand on her head and she went. And when she went back, she was somehow healed. I'm just an instrument. Guru's grace must have flowed. And her next biopsy showed that the tumors had disappeared. And she shared this in a full meeting, which was meant for a DSN course. I mean, one should not be sharing all this at that point of time. But these things happen. I don't know, that energy level at that time might have been high in my hand or whatever. And she had done her biopsy. She was told to undergo hysterectomy and she didn't. So there, I definitely believe there is a power. We are all instruments of the master, and we have to use it judiciously. And maybe if we do our sadhanas regularly, we do our mantra chanting regularly, our Guru Puja and all that. You all are all into Gita chanting, so what do I have to say about that? So then I have taken out as to how we treat in different forms the ailments that come into our body. Can you just take it up a little higher? In Ayurveda, we go by the Vata, Pitta, Kapha. In the allopathy system, we diagnose it by bacteria, viruses. In yoga, we show it as a disturbance and imbalance in the prana. And by restoring the balance through asanas and pranayams, this is a way through yoga that you can cure your body, heal your body, or stop the imbalances from happening. So,
Excuse me.
Yes.
What is this writing? From where this is? Are you have you shared it in the group or?
Yes, I've shared the whole. I've compiled these notes from various books, from various. These are handwritten notes.
Okay, good.
And which
Okay.
now my volunteers have compiled it and they have made it into this kind of a presentation.
So wonderful. Good. Thank you.
So it was basically because I wanted to correct what actually is life force energy, how useful it is, how my whole this thing was how to connect it with the sadhana that we do, and how important what Gurudev has told us, why we should believe in every word that Gurudev tells us and implement it wholeheartedly. For me, it's very important. Like Sola Ana such, like whatever Guruji says is 100% correct. Like I go by that. Like there's no doubt in my mind at all. So from that, when he says you do your warm-up exercises, you do your Padma Sadhana, and you do your Sudarshan Kriya, that whole this thing, how it works, see how it keeps your whole body healthy. And when you have a healthy body and you have your mind is at rest, how much of a difference you make. See, your aura will also be so good when people see you in public. And then you will, what kind of influence will you give to people around you? Like, so I just wanted to share this, that this is all very, very important. Whatever Gurudev has told us to do, we must do it. I mean, we have to find time, get up half an hour earlier or whatever. Look at Brahmraji, Dr. Brahmra gets up and comes to our sessions every day. It's 5 o'clock over there, Bahrain time. And yet she is completely ready. And I salute her. That for so long, right from March till now, we are doing it. This kind of discipline, we all should, it's an example to emulate, is what I'm saying. Then that prana is made up from all the 5 elements. And if you look at the contents in our body, that I have given, that the water contents in our body is 72%, earth element is 12%, air element is 6%, fire in the body, the digestive fire which we call it, is 4% in our body, and the space element is 6% in our body. And then I have shown, I have made a connection.
Persiji, I have a little question here.
Yeah.
When you say space is 6%, but somewhere we have learned that, especially when we do our follow empty meditations, that we are mainly 99% matter, whole of matter is 99% space and only 1% matter. Is that not in discordance with what is mentioned here?
Yeah, but yes, I'll explain to you. See, space is within the body and outside your body. Now you are taking it as the physical body. We have first the pranmay kosh, then we have all the manmay kosh, the vignanmay kosh. These are the causal body, the astral body. All this is there.
Right.
And then space element which we talk about is 99% space element which we talk about is taking all the bodies, the Panch Koshas, if you have gone through that. So there, yeah. So maybe from the gross body point of view, we are talking about the 6% in the body, like
proportion there with respect to the physical body. Yeah. Okay.
Then they say that this prana comes in from the Atma and enters the Chitta, and from the Chitta it goes to the entire body, Jiva. the body complex, body-mind complex. So there, the pranayams and all that which we do influence our chitta also. And that is why you see the impact of the karmas get lessened and all that we talk about. And then I took it out like uh, when you do Upnayan, and then you are taught the Gayatri mantra, and then we are taught to do Nadi Sodhan in a different way from what we normally do. I don't know. Then see, even in our, if you have done your Sayyam, the Nadi Sodhan there is done in a different way than what we do. So whenever you all do these courses, then probably you'll see that there are so many different types of Nadi Sodhan pranayams also that we learn. And when we do it, it has its effect on our body and mind and our chitta also. And that is why this pranayams have that influence on our chitta and therefore on our karmas also. The stored karmas as they are called. Then I have given you this relationship between prana and our relationships. See, if our, like, see, I was just, fooling around with my wife yesterday. We have a very healthy relationship. And at this age, there is no lust or anything involved, but we have a very good, healthy relationship. And so much of, we are still in love, you can say, whatever. So if the relationship is good, then the prana levels are high. See, if your own relationships in your own house are not good, you're looking down on people who do not have that much knowledge as you have. And so you do not accept them the way they are. Then what are you doing, So I say, okay, like, have compassion for everybody in the family or even outside it, for everybody in the world. And then you see that prana that you have will be transferred, that bubbling energy within you will be transferred to people in and around you. And your relationship will also be healthier with everybody around you. And you will be able to give out a lot of love and compassion. And you yourself in return will have very high prana because your relationships are good. I'm just trying to link up as to where all we get high prana from. So we covered in the first, earlier we covered the air, the food, and now I'm showing the different ways in which we get high prana. Then fasting, like suppose we are going on a picnic in a bus ride and we have to go up a hill or something. And then we have a very light breakfast, we don't, or we carry sandwiches with us, chutney sandwiches or something, vegetable sandwiches. And we have a very light kind of a meal. And then on the picnic, we are playing so many games, outdoor games and all that. So the kind of food, the quality of food that you eat, and even fasting, like especially when we are doing Ekadasi and all that. And somehow I don't know, Nanaji was saying that fasting is not good, and he was very disturbed with Dr. Brahma fasting and all that. But it has worked wonders. I have found that when we fast on Ekadasi, we feel so light and energetic. And I have no concepts in my mind that I will get acidity or migraine or anything. We'll come to these topics also later. People who suffer from migraines and acidity, what kind of asanas will balance the pranas, the different five pranas. We have still not come to the five pranas yet. This was just how to show you to get high prana that I made all this. I've written all this down. So when we fast on Ekadashi, I have literally done fasting on Navratri. And before Navratri starts, for 3 days, I'm only on fruits. Then the entire 9 days, I don't eat anything. I do consume water. And then, like, I have taken courses also. I've taken not only advanced courses, but even basic courses. And at one point of time during Navratri, I had one jail course which I was taking in the morning and in Baikala jail, and in the afternoon I was taking in Arthur Road jail. And then in the evening, I had another course which was a part one course, a regular part one course. And after coming out from Arthur Road jail in the afternoon, it became evening by the time the course finished, and I landed at Church Gate. I was so dog tired and fully perspiring, and bus was not coming, and I was walking, and somebody just came up to me, a volunteer, And he drove me to my house in his car, AC car, and I felt so relaxed. This grace of the master just works like. And I went and I took my bath and I changed into fresh clothes and I took the 7 to 10 course. But the idea is that, see, the jail course is that I took back to back morning and then again in the afternoon. That depleted, see the environment that is there in the jail, and these were all those drug sellers and high profile in the Arthur Road jail is all those high profile people who rape and all that, drug sellers and all that. So very hefty guys and all that, but the energy is different there, and that depleted my energy there. But when I came out and I met this volunteer and brought me home, I took a cold shower, and then I could take my 7 to 10 course also. So the high levels of prana that you get even when you are fasting is definitely there. So all are how it is split up the prana into 5 different pranas, which we call Upprana. That I want to explain now. And again, I have reinforced over here that prana comes from prana. Breath is the vehicle on which the prana travels through our body. It is the vital force that is running through our body using breath as a vehicle. So just that differentiation, I've gone on putting it that is not the same as breath. So now we come to the 5 elements that in Tattva Bodha we have covered in a great different in detail as to which are the 5 elements that are there. And then how we derive prana, that also we have covered. And see this, how our thoughts affect our prana. If we have negative thoughts, the space element at work, when our thoughts are negative, how it depletes our prana. How do we feel? We feel so low, isn't it? And then we say that the breath is the connection between the body and the mind. And then we use all the pranayams to our advantage. Even the yogic breath, the deep, where we move the body from the lungs, push the diaphragm and push the stomach out. That itself is so powerful. The first yoga breath that we teach in the Part 1 course. And then you feel so light and nice after that when you do the 8 to 10 yoga breaths in the Part 1 course. The first feeling of goodness that they have, the first feelings of happiness that the participants get from a simple thing like abdominal breath or yoga breath as we call it. Can you lift it up a little? And then I've explained that how it is. Here is the this thing. Dr. Brahmra raised that issue of the prana, the space element, and all that. These are the various. We have covered this. All Part 1 teachers know about all these 5 koshas and how this prana moves through our body through all the nadis. Here I wanted to put a picture of the nadi structure in our body. Somehow I could fail to get it. And even this koshas, if we could have put up a picture of the Panch koshas here in this, it would have been better. Maybe someday I'll put it in, some volunteer will put it in for me. So there are, it is said that 70,000 nadis are there, 72,000 nadiya sharir mein hai. And remember those who have done the mudras in the advanced course, mudra pranayam, those who have done advanced course. See, we talk about the mudras being performed in a particular manner which is ideal. The very touch of the first finger with the thumb and all that, you will find that how you touch, light touch which is there, and how you put the your hands on your thighs. Some people, see, I always do this correction. Some people put their hands, they are not used to sitting on the ground first. So they put their hands outside of their knees also. There is no connection of the back of your hand with your thighs at all. And that they say is like the plug and socket connection. When your hands are on the thighs, then this Shushma Nadi, as we call it, na? So there is a connection between your hands and the nadis at play when you are doing mudra pranayam. So it's literally like a plug being connected into a socket. So those who have done the advanced course will understand what I'm talking about. As to position of the hands in each mudra is so important, that the hands remain on the thighs. And some teachers, even advanced course teachers, I see them talking about it being on the knees. But this is, from what I have read, it is like this kind of plug and socket connection. And this gets connected to our nadis. And when you do mudra pranayam, even if you have undergone an operation, somebody shared yesterday that they had undergone some physical ailments and they could not do Padma Sadhana. The least you can do, even in a sleeping position, because in mudra pranayam it does not matter how you are, in what condition you can still perform the mudras and they'll still have that effect on you. But the best effect would be if you sit in Sukhasana and you put your hands on your thighs. So the complete circuitry is connected in your body and the life force energy is moving. All the blockages are removed. We are concentrating that energy into certain sections of our body. Dr. Brahma, you can remind me, I have made notes. Earlier I used to give books, but I found teachers would not reach 800 pages and they still were not having that kind of knowledge base. So I condensed all these books. Keshav Maharaj is considered to be the guru of mudras and all that. So all these bandhas and mudras, I made 2-3 pages notes. Just remind me to pass it on to you.
Certainly. We'll
yeah.
let you know. Yeah.
So there in this mudras, I have covered extensively from various books, how even what we talk about astrology and all that, which planets are in which fingers and all that. And I've given whatever I could condense into 2 to 3 pages. At least teachers can read that much. And then whenever you realize the importance, that is all. Why we should do bandhas, I find that when I'm taking a Sudarshan Kriya on every Saturday evening here, many people who have done the advanced course don't do the bandhas. Though I say those who have done advanced course can apply a lot, but they don't end up doing it. Maybe daily practice they have not included it. Maybe everybody gives time as an excuse. But how powerful it is, where it is working, how these locks are so important. Locks are where it is like a, how shall I explain it? Lock is not like a lock. It is like you are trapping the life force energy into certain sections of your body. And then when you are locking it into certain sections of your body, then that particular section of your body is getting healed with that life force energy. There is a...
Sridhar, may I add something?
Yeah, sure.
You are very right that mudra and astrology, the planets,
Yes.
are taught to us that in the astrology class, that each symbol represents a planet. Like thumb is Mars, index is Jupiter, like that. So then we join index finger with the thumb. The planets also, the Jupiter and Mars, are rockets. So each mudra has a specific planet. And you are absolutely connecting me with that knowledge.
Yeah.
I hope I am clear.
Yes, yes, I know because I have made pictorial diagrams of each finger showing having which planet and all that also is there in those notes of mine.
Aha, yeah.
I
We
had
had
literally, I had literally like drawn that. Mine were handwritten notes. And at that
Wow.
time, all this was not available so many years back. Like now, today, people are having everything from Google. Those days,
Yes.
how much my volunteer has worked to get that palm down into
Wow.
that notes. Like to make it on the computer was such a great ask. And some
Wow.
of these geniuses who have come and made this for me, I really salute them. They have put in so much of efforts to make all this.
Thank you. Just wanted to add that.
Yeah. So all this is there pictorially over there at different levels, how these mudras work. I have shown that connection. So I will pass those notes on to you. My only objective is that we as teachers realize that whatever Gurudev has given us is so important to keep our bodies healthy and our minds free from stress and tension. There is so much of a connection there, and why we should do it.
Yeah, and it is connected to the astrology knowledge. I was surprised. Yeah.
So as I said,
Jai Gurudev, Percy Bhaiya,
yeah,
when is your next advanced course? Please let me know. Or the best will be if this group only, Manana group, if we come together and have online advanced course with you for 3 days, so
yeah,
that
we
with
can.
different perspective you can take, because most of us we
Yeah,
are teachers also. So
yeah.
in a different way you can conduct the whole advanced program with hollow and empties, with this knowledge and some more deeper practices. What all others say, let us work
Yeah,
towards it
yeah.
as early as possible.
Okay. Whenever you all want it. I don't know. Only thing is, I'm wondering how y'all are. Somebody is in Australia, somebody is in Bahrain, somebody is in America. How are we going to get the fee structure?
Yeah.
I think somewhere they have, where it has been done, it has been like conversion of American dollars. Whatever is the fees in America, that conversion, and I don't know. We'll have to work it out with NPC. Maybe
Okay.
I don't know how
Or
we all do it over there. I don't know the fee structures there in each different country. When I'd gone to Australia and New Zealand, it was $500 per person. I don't know what are the fee structures now. And in different parts of the world, it's all different. So somehow
correct,
that
correct.
NTC, we'll work it out with NTC. If everybody is agreeable for this kind of a course, we can work it out through NTC.
Yeah, like Brahmaraji is in India now. Something like from Indian point of view, also if we conduct it, it will be great.
No,
Like many of
I
us we
don't.
are in India.
Indian point of
Sorry.
view, in Indian
I am
routine.
in India, Percy ji.
Two of you all, but what about the rest? Like Dr. Mara and all that are sitting in America.
Mara is also in India, I think. Her mother, due to her this thing. Let us somebody take
I
lead.
will be
Vijay ji is
outside
also in
till
India.
mid-February. I will be in Canada till
Ah,
mid-February. Yeah.
For
so
people
work
in
it out.
Bahrain like me and Brahmraji, it shouldn't be problem because we have been attending these courses. We should not have any problem.
Okay.
But I think Australia and US people you might have to go over there for that. Or maybe. But we should be okay. I think myself and Brahmraji over here.
Australia and New Zealand, I think Krish Dale, who was a search, one of the first search teachers, he had been made. And when he was made advanced course teacher and he came to the Bangalore ashram to assist, some of my teachers were there at Bangalore ashram doing the advanced course, and he talked about me and he talked well about me. Chris Dale was his name in Australia and New Zealand. One of the first Sahaj teachers.
In fact, I was talking to Dr. Brahmraji the other day about the course with you and see how our minds are connected. Madhuriji just mentioned it.
Yeah, we can work out. Maybe Dr. Brahma will only work it out for all of us, how it goes.
Yeah, the earlier the better. Let's
Okay.
sit it.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
other aspects, those like maximum who are in India, let's find out the dates and complete it instead
Yes.
of, because then always there will be someone who is outside and someone in India. From Indian perspective, let us start it. Those who get, they get it. Others will उनका क्या वहाँ का system है, let them remit get registered themselves in their own ways.
Yeah.
And let's do it, क्योंकि ना उसके बिना होगा नहीं, ये इतना सब सूक्ष्म बातें हैं ना, they are so subtle things. Of course, the mind and intellect needs this kind of food inputs, but these are experienced only when we sit through those hollow and empties, and then when you speak and you make us go through all that, it will be a permanent part of our existence. That is more important, I think.
Thank you for kind words.
Hey Guru, they have waited for so long for Percy G to announce the course. Then finally I enrolled with Chayana last week. But
Good.
yes, I'm looking forward with you.
I have co-taught with Chaya Anna. He is a wonderful teacher. And I have seen that when he takes the mudras and why the mudras are progressing, he will talk about some other mudras. So his knowledge is also phenomenal. I mean, my hats off to him. Like, he's super.
Almost Persiji.
Yes.
I have gone through all these knowledge, and I don't know. I am still a basic course teacher, but I have gone through all these pancha pranas, all mudras, and there were many TTC going on. No, this teachers training course, the teachers training meetings were there. Guruji used to tell all such secrets in there. So we have passed through this, but knowing through you also is so good. It is revising it.
Thank you. Yeah. So this thing is that I used to take Apex advanced courses also, like big executives like vice presidents, L&T, then Tata Sons, all the Tata Motors, Barclays Banks, and all that. So at that level, what works scientifically explain to them in which section of your body and all that is very important. And once you tell them, Guruji says, let them be with their ego. If they don't go beyond the ego state, at least they'll reach up till there in the 7 levels of existence. So let them hold on to their ego. Don't do any ego bashing with them. Whether it's like the part 1 course which we have for them or this. And also I was in charge for 2 years. I launched the medium and small scale industries. I was the head of that, all India head for that. So everything at the industries level, corporate courses are to be taken scientifically. So that is why all these copious notes from various books that I have copied down in my handwriting and people have translated in this fashion, they came around. So like somebody said that you should do some video shooting and all, that time I remembered, I also have some earlier notes that I made on mudras and bandhas and all that, which I should now pass on to Dr. Brahma.
We are lucky to have you.
We are indeed very fortunate, Percy ji. And I think, yeah, we can coordinate and like Madhuri ji and everybody else wants a advanced course, online advanced course. While we still have this opportunity to do it online, maybe we can find more or less mutually convenient dates, and then we'll go ahead.
From 26th, I'm booked. Republic Day, I'm taking a course.
Yeah.
It's a rural advanced
You can let
course.
me know your schedule, and accordingly once you announce based on your schedule, I think all of us will fit into that.
March, we have been told to take an advanced course. I don't have anything lined up yet in March, but we have been told to take because Guruji is coming in February and post events are also chalked out. Like all this happiness Mahotsav which we are having where everybody is taking happiness programs all over, that should lead to DSNs and advanced courses post Gurudev's event.
So whenever you announce, you let us also know if it's an online course, that is.
No, let us organize and do it in March. So that comes under that framework of
Wonderful. It will it be an online or offline course?
We will, as you all wish, I can come anywhere and take it. And if you want, we can have this thing online also.
Yeah. I think online, all of us will be able to do.
Yeah, online and preferably many of us, if we join, then there will be little bit of reference point for Percy Bhaiya also, because all of us, we are together for very long now, and so much discussion and all. There is some a very beautiful spiritual platform, commonality within us. So a little bit extra thing, whatever Percy Bhaiya shares, will make much more deeper sense for all of us, like how he is explaining the mudras and all other things. The impact of the whole advanced course will be very different. No doubt, let others also join, no doubt. But predominantly, if our group is more there in one of the online, Percy Bhaiya will have some reference point to guide us through the sessions, through the whole advanced program. What do you all say?
Yes, Ji, sure.
Let it be the open thing for everybody.
It will be intensive. They say intensive course.
Type, something.
Yeah. In that
And
you can
let
have
it-
some personal. I have attended many intensive courses, advanced course. Almost 20, 25, more than 25 advanced courses.
One thing I want to share, see now, just now, the importance of fasting he shared. So if the course starts on Friday or something, at least 4 5 days before that only, if we start little bit our diet also with his guidance, and little bit one more round of Padma Sadhana, something which will lead us towards a much more deeper and different experience. And then while going through the program also, Percy Bhaiya can have this reference point that all of us, we are have gone through, like our Bhagavad Gita and Vedanta and Atma Bodh and this thing. So I think that will be much more fulfilling and full basket full of this thing experience. So intensive type, we can name it anything, but maybe the advanced course, in a way, it will start 4 5 days before itself, which we can rectify our own lifestyle little bit to be more in alignment with those 3 days. What do you all say?
Yeah, we will do it, no problems. And I think even one therapeutic yoga session during our before nature's walk and all that, we can take that up also during the advanced course. Then I can teach you, because I have found that wherever I've gone throughout the world, a lot of this thing is given, focus is given on strength and stamina building, and the body goes stiff. And then to have flexibility, they are not at all flexible.
फुलं चढवायचे.
Sorry.
दिवसभर करून सोडू का?
Sorry. So this therapeutic yoga also, and I have found that it has worked so wonderfully. I've had people who have been traveling with me with cervical spondylitis wearing, like a dog collar that you wear around your neck, huge ones. And literally during these 3 years of working on the Konkan belt, they don't know where they had lost their collar, and their cervical was completely gone. And she was one of our sponsors. She would give me a car and petrol that she would fill and give, so that we could tour extensively through the night. We would go from one place to another, morning land, and start our intro talks. So she, on a various this thing, she was with us. I'm telling you that being with us, practicing her kriya every day, our sadhana every day, and all that, and seeing the way, I don't know, it just rubbed off on her. And this kind of a weak person she was an Asia Pacific head in Cap Gemini, handling such different teams all over this South Asia Pacific region, being on such an important post. She not only being in my this thing, I don't advise anybody to do that, but she gave up her job also. She became a teacher also. I mean, I just rushed her through. I made her teacher sign the form, who was a volunteer with me, who became a teacher, and she had done the course with her. But she became healthy again. Like her body was ailment free. She used to get this wheezing kind of sneezing and all that kind of this thing. Very weak personality, bodily, physically. And then how she has now graduated such good health within these 3 years. And our tours are so rough. I mean, traveling in the nights and working in the day, and our energy just rubbed off on her. And she was virtually free from that. She lost her collar. One of us found it in the car, in the front seat. There is this thing cover in which she had placed it and she had forgotten about it and she couldn't find it. So I'm just saying that how important it is to have good health if we follow all this sadhana that Gurudev has given us, how we can improve our health. Small little things, if we do them, if our technique is correct, it will give us perfect results. My this thing has been on that. What is the time now? Shall we?
I think you can continue with the next topic here. I think prana, nadis, and pratik.
Yeah, we can take it up higher. Now we come to the panch pranas, which are so important, and subdivision of prana. Yeah. The 5 different vayus that we talk about, the prana vayu, the apana vayu, samana, vyana, and udana. And then each one is explained. Again, I have emphasized that prana is not breath. It is made up of all the 5 elements, and air is just one of the elements. So prana is made up of all the 5 elements. And then I've given a little bit of an explanation as to how like prana, life force energy, the prana vayu comes in from outside through the air, and then how it works like in a factory, how the raw material is distributed in different sections or on different machines. So like that. So the location division of the prana is the chest in the thoracic region between the neck and the diaphragm. So where it is located, the movement of this prana, and what it is responsible for, the respiratory system and the cardiovascular system. And what prana vayu maintains as the life force energy, what it maintains, what is under its control, the heart, lungs, the circulation, and it moves in an upward direction. And therefore it is responsible for our emotions, absorbing the information, sensory inputs, and control of our mind. So what I have done is not only shown everywhere which vayu works at the physical level as well as at the mental level, where all it is moving and what it does where. Now again I have shown that at the physical level, if ailments are there, what kind of ailments would be there. So if you are having common cold, chest infection and all those kind of things, it is due to low energy in the pranavayu. And if it is there in the pranavayu is high at the mental level, what you can do is you have emotional stability, you can do multitasking, etc. So then we come to one, this thing that I found article was from this Prana Jam, Mastering Prana. And there it was written that Gurudev was also given this. Even in Gita, Bhagavad Gita, we have seen like the chariot being written and the horses being, the 5 senses being compared to the horses and the reins in the hand as the reins. And the person sitting behind, the charioteer is the driver, the sathi is the mind, and then the person sitting behind is the atma. So all this, it was actually finding its presence in this book also, from which I condensed this. Then I've come to the asanas that balance the pranavayu. So all the chest opening asanas that are there, like, can you take it up a little? The Tadasana, all the chest opening asanas which are there, the Chakrasana, they all open out the rib cage. And therefore, for pranvaya to be balanced again, all the exercises that are there to rib opening exercises, that I think you've gone very high. Anyway, go a little lower. You've gone to Samana Vayu. Asanas that balance Prana Vayu. Yeah, this is what I was talking about. Asanas that balance Prana Vayu is right the last line that we are at. Can you just take it a little higher? All the chest opening asanas like Tadasana or the Chakrasana, all the back bending poses that open the rib cage, all improve Pranavaya. So when we do this asanas, this warm-up asanas as we call it, that Gurudev tells us to do before we start our Padmasana are so important. They are balancing this Panch Prana, and it is so important, like what work these pranas are doing. The imbalance is causing so many ailments, and how it can be rectified through the yoga asanas. Like I said before, how Ayurveda can cure you. So you may be doing Nadi Pariksha and taking some Ayurvedic medicine if you are having any ailment. Then also through yoga you can do. And allopathy, let us leave it as, say you undergo an accident or maybe from outside forces which influence your body, like a mosquito bite and you get, what is it called, malaria. Then you can use allopathy probably. But mainly if you rely, allopathy, like, in the liver, we call it the first pass. All drugs are taken, like it's a warfare that starts. Foreign body has come into our body, like the medicine that we take in allopathy. So that is attacked by all this thing and it is taken to the liver. वहाँ कहते हैं घमासान युद्ध होता है. Like the liver is the place where these, like in Mahabharat war took place. The war takes place to eliminate the foreign body, that is the medicine. And what we call in the liver as the first pass is the balance of the medicine that comes out. And that is the amount that works on you to heal you or whatever. Maybe Dr. Brahmra would be knowing better about this first pass and all that. But like in liver is being caused so much of this thing. Nowadays they say liver toxicity, what is it called? It's not non-alcoholic liver cirrhosis is what they call it. It's because of all the allopathic medicines that we take. I mean, there are so many Ayurvedic medicines which work for common cold and even fever, and we don't need to use antibiotics, small children especially. I've seen doctors misusing ciprofloxacin and all. Ciprofloxacin literally leads to stunted growth in children when you put children on ciprofloxacin. But in order, at least in India, a lot of doctors are doing it to get quicker results, and then they become, probably they have a better practice. I don't know. I don't mean to badmouth anybody, but usually that has been the tendency. In my pharma days, I've seen that. So, I mean, I don't go to doctors now, except for those who are in this group where we are sharing spiritual knowledge. Not for treatment, is what I mean. So this is so important, all this, like the imbalances in the prana is corrected through yoga asanas. And that is why this thing is so important, yoga asanas that we perform. Then we come to the Samana Vayu, where it is located between the diaphragm and navel region. It is responsible for our digestive system. All the releases of the chemicals, the Jataragni, which we call the fire, actually is not a fire. It is all the chemicals that are released to digest the food in what quantities. That is why when Gurudev says that you can have water before food, 1 hour before food, maybe a little water while eating, but after, big no to after food taking water. Just don't take any water. Otherwise, the chemicals that are there get diluted with water. Renuji is saying cannot hear. Is that a issue with everybody? Or you can hear me?
We can hear. हम सुन
Okay.
सकते हैं.
Yeah. Okay. Maybe her connectivity at her end.
I think drinking water after 1 hour of the food is good. I think.
Maybe 1.5 hours is what Gurudev says.
Good. That is what
1.5
I
hours.
follow that. I follow that, and it has helped me a lot.
Yes. So now where the Samana Vayu works is in assimilation. Assimilation is the process where the absorption and assimilation. Absorption is where the food, we eat solid food, that is broken down into semi-solids and then liquefied, Dravya Avastha. So that process is called absorption. Then the nutrient contents which are there in this liquefied food that is there is taken by the process of osmosis. Just like we have a filter where strainer where when we are drinking tea, the tea collects on top, the solid tea, and the liquid flows through the strainer. That way, by the process of osmosis, the nutrients in the food, liquefied food, are taken out and given to the blood circulation, and it goes into different every cell in our body. Can you mute yourself? Somebody's line is open. And so this assimilation and absorption of the nutrients which is there at the physical level in the body, Samana Vayu does it. And again, now this is very important. At the mental level, processing of all this information and then assimilating what is important. See, in the memory bank, everything is stored. And now that we have all this social media, what all we get by way of information. And all this, like, see, they say okay, our two systems are there, parasympathetic nervous system and sympathetic nervous system. And one comes into play only when there is fight or flight, when the adrenaline gush takes place, when you have to either stand up to somebody and fight, or you are in a jungle, you need to run away from a bear or something. So out of fight or fright, you want to, so that adrenaline gush is important. But this same negative hormones, as they are called, are triggered off when we are on social media all the time. And each triggering off that it does, to silence the mind, it takes 20 minutes. That is why every meditation that Gurudev took during the pandemic was at least 20 minutes long. To silence that disorder, it takes 20 minutes. To calm the mind again, it takes 20 minutes. Are you getting what I'm saying? Are you understanding this importance of this? Getting this into, and that is why
Can you say that again about the social media again, please?
Social media is like you are on WhatsApp or on Facebook, and with all this fake news going out, and you're looking at news on television. It's about the war in Russia or all that Ukraine, all those kind of negative news cells. So everything triggers off a reaction in you at the mental level. And that triggers off the chemical hormones, the negative hormones that we call in your body. And then that leads to damage in the body. And through meditation, when we do, it takes 20 to soothe your nerves, to calm down your nerves, to calm down your mind. It takes 20 minutes. So, and every time that we are on social media, except for this platform, wherever you are there, all the news that you see or whatever you are watching or everything, if somebody is sending you something, is always negative, like the war situation or somebody's pro-Modi, anti-Modi. All these things are happening all the time on social media, in India at least. So that triggers off and it disturbs your mind. So how that correction takes place? By meditation. So the importance of meditation I wanted to bring out, that each is 20 minutes long. And why meditation is so important, that I wanted to bring out here. That every meditation that Gurudev took, which is on YouTube, is 20 minutes long. Is for this particular reason. The sympathetic and the parasympathetic nervous system. I think the sympathetic nervous system is always at play. Parasympathetic nervous system only needs to come into play when there has to be a triggered off reaction to fight or flight, some such thing. So the disturbance in the mind triggers it off. It takes 20 minutes to calm down. Voluntary and involuntary muscles that we talk about in our body. Yeah, can we roll it up a little more? Then ailments that take place when Samana Vayu is low, at the level of the physical body, bloating of the stomach, indigestion that we suffer from. So why we need to be disciplined in taking our food also comes into play here again. And okay, if we have whatever we have done, normally when we feel indigestion and all that is a good excuse for not doing your sadhana. But when you do your warm-ups, the exercises that come into play for balancing the samana vayu, when you do it, in fact, the indigestion and the bloating of the stomach will go away. So disturbance in the thoughts at the mental level.
What for balancing of samana vayu? What are the major asana?
I come to that.
Okay.
When you twist your abdomen like Maschendra Asana and all that. These notes are like that in physical level, mental level, and what. So here again in some book that I read, the Yoga Sutras, it is mentioned that one who has mastered Samana Vayu, his aura is very strong. And probably, yeah, when you see Gurudev, see how much of a radiance he has around him, his aura is so strong. And people who are into the scientific field have measured his aura and all that. And there are articles written, you can go through them. They are available on our UL website. That what is the color of the aura before he enters the Yagyashala. And then once he sits down, what is the color of the aura? And once he finishes talking and the meditation, then what is the color of the aura and all that. They have measured it with some instruments that are available now, scientific instruments. So all this is there. And just this example, I talked to you about this lady who accompanied, who was my sponsor. She got thoroughly this thing with our work charged up. And she left her Asia Pacific job and traveled with us. She got healed so much. See, just being in our presence and doing, we are regular. So we lead by example. We are doing all of us are doing our sadhana. She was doing her sadhana. And see how it has an effect. All these years she was wearing a collar and working. And today she is such a charged up personality. She has taken up my work in Dharavi. And this projects which we talked about, which I put on the WhatsApp group of this oil, instead of refined oil using cold pressed oil. She has been the sponsor for that. Silently, she doesn't say it, but of the 12 lakh machinery, 6 lakhs has been given. 2 machines we bought for this cold pressed oil. 6 lakhs has been given. The next installment of 6 lakhs is due from her now. Second installment that we have to pay. So see how it works on us like. Then the asanas that balance the samana vayu, I've talked to you about. All the twisting, abdomen twisting asanas are the ones that cause this Maschendra asana that we do. All in the sitting down position, lying down position, whatever Nataraj asana that we do, is twisting the asana, twisting asana of the abdomen. And then the Kapal Bhati also generates a lot of balance in the samana vayu. Then third, we come to the Apana Vayu, which we all know works on the elimination and excretion of our waste. Can you lift it a little? The carbon dioxide through respiration, the feces, the urine, the sweat, all unwanted waste is removed from our system through the apana vayu. It moves, the direction of movement is downwards and out, and it provides energy to the intestine, kidneys, and the genital region. So it is responsible not only for excretion, but I think even for the reproductive system, apana vayu. When it is not active, then it causes constipation. If it is overactive, then diarrhea. The opposite happens. Then at the mental level, unwanted thoughts that affect us. So what it does is that thoughts come into our mind. We need to retain only the good experience from the thoughts that are there and remove the impression, the vasana that is talked about. Even in the Patanjali Yoga Sutras, we talk about vasanas, the samsaras, the impressions on our mind. I think earlier I had given you how our attitude is defined from our thoughts, and where do thoughts generate from the impressions, where do impressions come from. So all that I made a slide out and sent it sometime back, I think. I think Dr. Brahmram has been possession of it. So this is how it works. So the experience is retained and the vasanas are eliminated. Samana Vayu does that at the mental level. Then what are the physical ailments that happen when the Samana Vayu is imbalanced? Is constipation, urinary tract infections, menstruation problems, reproductive issues. So many, again, reproductive issues. I have seen people eating junk food, developing a lot of fat, then they develop tumors in the uterus and all that, and then they are not able to reproduce. Their reproductive organs are not functioning well. So the imbalance is caused in the apana vayu. And then in some other scripture, these two vayus are also mentioned. We don't find much mention of this anywhere else in most of the books that we have studied. How to hold the fetus in place inside a mother's womb. That is called Prajapatya Vayu. And the one where a child has to be pushed out during labor, that is called Sutika Vayu. I think the Vayu spelling is wrong here, needs correction. Then the asanas that balance the apana vayu is all that gives compression to the lower abdomen. The Pavan Muktasan that we do, Earth Pavan Muktasan that we do, that balance, that Earth Matsendra Asana again, Salbhasan that we do, all make the apana vayu balanced again. So the lower abdominal exercises that we do, see how Padmasana also is so important here now. Realize the importance of it. Why we need to do it every day? Why we need to have time? We need to find time to do all this every single day in our life. Then we come to Vyana Vayu, that is circulated through the entire system, our circulatory system. The blood flow that has to be maintained, the entire circulatory system, that is through this life force energy is responsible. This particular Vyana Vayu is responsible for sending the circulation through the whole body. So the distant peripheries, like the tip of the nose, the tip of the toes, the tip of the fingers, these are the most distant peripheries. The circulation is not right, then you go into frostbite and all that also. People who are soldiers who are there on the cold front, on tops of mountains and all that. But if they have this Vyana Vayu working for them, if they are doing some warm-ups, then how it will assist them in maintaining their warmth in the circulation. So it is also affecting our voluntary and involuntary muscles that I talked about. Many work at different directions also. They do work like we talked about in the earlier about the Samana Vayu, but Vyana Vayu is also looking after the voluntary and involuntary muscles again. Then how we talk about lethargy, inertia that comes with tamasic nature that we get, and most of it is related to the food that we take in. That is why we say that rajma, paneer should be taken in moderation. Otherwise, they cause tamas in your system. Tamas is required to sleep, so it is also a guna that is required. Otherwise, you won't be able to sleep at night. But it should not cause laziness. The mental effect is laziness. So have paneer and rajma, but in moderation. Just because you like it, don't have it every day. The physical ailments that are caused are inflammation to joints, arthritis, all this joint problems and all that. So not only is it related to refined oil and all that, but the Vyana Vayu not being in balance. You have a pleasant...
For that, which asanas is good?
Sorry?
For this Vyana, Surya Namaskara, dynamic.
Yeah, everything is in that same serial order. Finally, we show the imbalance where it is, what positive effect has, what negative effect it has, and then the asanas to balance that vayu. This follows the same sequence I have given in that sequence. And all this Surya Namaskar with dynamic repetition is required. For circulation to be in full flow, then we need to do it dynamic. Otherwise, we do Surya Namaskar slowly. You do 2 rounds, 3 rounds, whatever. But like I think on Makar Sankranti.
Dynamic repetition means what?
Yeah, at a faster speed. At a faster speed.
Okay.
So that is called dynamic repetition. And very few times, like I think during Makar Sankranti or some place, Gurudev had mentioned that do it 12 times or something. I think it was on Makar Sankranti, if I don't mistake. I even sent the article. I think I shared it in the group. Next, we come to the Udana Vayu. And this is the most important. So this is like the highest force to run the company, the CEO of a company. You can compare it to that. So it is upward moving from the neck region going up to your head. And it is in control of the nervous system, the higher thought process, the intuition, managing the nervous system. All that is done by the Udana Vayu. Now this intuition, like how does they say Guruji is Antaryami, Durdrashti, everything. He knows about the future, he knows about what is going on in your mind also, is through intuition. Can you roll it up a little? So this now again is very important. How you reach higher levels of consciousness at the spiritual level. What yogis try to when the Udana is high. At the physical level, the ailments which are caused are tonsillitis, thyroid, which I talked about, which can be so easily. I tell you, when I teach you the Surya Yoga exercises, they are so simple, so simple. Only we need to go before the sun and do it. That's all. And they are very simple. And it can stop something like removing the gland. How can you remove the battery of the car? Then what condition will the body be in if you remove that gland? And so many doctors are doing that. Then how this at the mental level again, all these migraines which come up, depression that is there, loss of cognitive skills is all to do with Udana Vayu. So this is what I am talking about. Lot of people suffer, like Dr. Brahma mentioned that some few days back that she had got up with a migraine. Immediately my mind got into this, that there may be some imbalance in her Udana. If she does this asanas, the balance will take place and she will be able to get rid of the migraine so easily. So that was going on in my mind. At my level, that compassion just comes up immediately if somebody says that he is not well. So can you lift it a little higher? So those who have mastered the Udana Vayu, it says they can even levitate. Sometime back, there was Guruji was walking on snow, and they showed, they clicked the photograph with both his feet being in the air. And then I had written in those groups that this is possible. It is mentioned in Patanjali's Yoga Sutras. That, but for us, it is okay that we feel so light and chirpy when our Udana Vayu is working well for us. And how we can make decisions. Like, see how Guruji travels, wherever he travels all over the world, and how many decisions he has to take for different sections of populations in different fields altogether. And so very quickly he rolls out like what they need to do. And how clear, there's so much of clarity in his mind. So that the asanas that balance it, a lot of this have been nowadays replaced. We are not doing them. Maybe some of the teachers, whilst they were taking the yoga sessions in the morning, some people did suffer from neck injuries, etc. So a lot of the asanas, halasana and all that have been ruled out now in our Padma Sadhana. And Setubandh asana is there. But see, even the Ujjayi pranayam that is there, how well it works. Yeah, take it up. Asana, no, sorry. Take it down, sorry. The asanas that work. And there I mentioned, see, even just this Ujjayi pranayam. You know, in the BR School of Yoga, the teacher was sharing with us that I learned my yoga from one of the BR School of Yoga teachers. Because at that time, when I learned it, Shishi Yoga was not there. And Shishi Yoga, when it came out, I was not too happy with people bending their knees while performing Surya Namaskar in the first 3-4 poses. Like for days on end, we had to practice just the first 3-4 poses in Surya Namaskar. We did not have to go through the 12 poses also. We just had to stay with the 3-4 poses till we perfected them. So, I mean, that has stuck to me. The right technique is so important. So, Ujjayi, there the teacher was saying that unless you are perfect in teaching yoga, you cannot teach even the Ujjayi breath. So much of importance is given to Ujjayi breath. We just say it's Ujjayi breath, victory over body, mind, and spirit. Are you understanding what it is really doing? How it is connected with the prana in the body, where it is working. So I have covered all these 5 pranas, main pranas, and how we can, by balancing the pranas through all our yoga exercises, our pranayams, we can bring about a balance back in our body and stay fit. At the age of 70, if I can stay fit, so can you. God bless you all. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
I was just reading, hearing somebody, there is a group, I don't know which group it was, from Swami Vivekananda's sector. In that one, Swami was talking that he was wondering that people who stay in space, on a space station, in space, for 6 months at a time, if they were to fall ill, what kind of medication they take, and do they carry a chest of medication with them? And so he started talking with the people. He was interacting with some space scientists or something. So they said, no, the way they do it is that all their parameters are gauged before they go on a computer. And once the parameters are gauged on the computer, they break it down into frequencies, electromagnetic frequencies. And then, though they are there up in space, this monitoring of the frequencies takes place on that high level computer. And the moment they see an imbalance in the frequencies, they immediately carry out the computer, through the computer, they carry out that imbalance, that frequency is corrected. So they don't allow the person to fall sick. I mean, we are talking about electromagnetic waves, the prana, life force, energy, matter being just uh, energy vibrating at different frequencies. And this science, space scientists are literally keeping these people healthy through monitoring their frequencies. If you are understanding the dimension from what I am talking, this is the same thing that we are doing in our pranayams and yoga asanas to keep ourselves fit. So our sadhana is so important. Thank you. Thank you for giving me such a patient hearing. Very kind of you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Fasiji, for your time.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you for your wonderful sharing. I will have to go through this one more time because I was in and out and I was not able to pay full attention, but I'll go through the recording and I will go through the notes once again. Thank you so very much.
Dhanyavad, Persiji. So much in depth. We have no words to say our gratitudes.
I even put pictures below this of the asanas. So if some teachers have forgotten some asanas, or maybe the volunteers whom we are teaching it to don't know the asanas, or the participants, the pictorial depiction has been put. I think, is it there in this if you roll it up?
I don't know. I think Drinal has left.
Acha,
So
maybe it is.
Yeah.
It is there, right, in this. So one can go through the pictorial depictions of the asanas also.
Fine.
Thank you so much.
No problem. That was very good. Thank you so much for your sharing. We'll close the session today. Tomorrow, what I would suggest we do is we have a summary of chapter 1 to 3 in the Gita PDF. I think maybe we will do that. So that, and then one of these days, if we have any doubts and questions, Nana said he will come online. He will attend, he will be there to clarify any doubts. So I think we'll do the chapter 1 to 3 summary before we go on to chapter 4. So we'll close today's session. Om Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Tat Sat Shri Krishna Arpanamastu. Jai Gurudev. Hari Om.
Jai Gurudev. Thank you so much.